Aloha, Richard Halverson here. This is ITS128. Sure, yes. And today is October 18th. And let me share my screen. All right. So this is ITS128, and let's look at this. Let's look at the syllabus. And October 18th is like around here. And are we really in chapter 6 yet? Yes, we are. We're in section 6.1. Okay, let's so let's go to confirm that. And we are right. Yeah, 6.1. Okay, so so let's take a look at it. And so we are doing all these things. Okay, now let me see what this. Are we just learning about the print function? Oh, we're learning about that. All right, well, let's go back to section 6.2. Okay, so okay, so we're doing functions, right? We're talking about functions. And this is the motivation for functions. You know, it helps you make less mistakes, modularizes things. There's the function definition, which is this, and then there's calling the function, which is this. This is where we call the function, this particular function. It's the name of it right here, and so on. We've used functions a lot because, you know, printing itself is a function. We've used some other functions, anything that where there's a name of something and then parentheses and then something and then end of parentheses, that's a function. So, but in this section, we actually are starting to learn how to write functions ourselves, and that's sort of the important thing here. But I guess here, this is a new section. It's a common operation for a function is to print text. So large text outputs can clutter a main program. So if you put them in a function, one thing about putting things in a function is that once they're in a function, then they can be in a different file. And being in a different file can mean that your main program is one file, and it's got the computational steps to complete a problem. But then if you're going to have if you're going to print out a bunch of text, that's going to take up a lot of room in your program. So with this approach here, you put everything you're going to print that could take up a lot of space, and you want to format it nice and everything, and you put that in a function. And then when it comes time to actually print out the function in your line of code or in your program, your sequence of steps, you just call that print function like this. This thing calls the function, and this is what prints. So this print operations do not need to be performed in the main program. That's the point of this. A void function can have any number of parameters. Now, what a void function is a void function has no return statements, or has no return statement. So when you call a void function, that's just a statement right out, in your program. There's just that one line that's the calling of the function. It's not like the function is on the right side of an assignment. It's not like you have something equals the function. If you have something equals the function, then that means that function has got to have a return statement in it, because the function is going to return a value in its place. But a void function does not return anything in its place. It just does something. And so these print functions, they don't return anything. They just do something. They print out some stuff and then they're done. So that's what this is. A void function can have any number of parameters. Yes, that's true. A print function must return a value that was output. No, that's the idea of a void function. Calling a print function multiple times. This is just another example of a function here. So this is an example of where we're calling over here. Here we're defining the function, and here we execute the function once with a parameter of word, and word is so that's printed out here. So it says it prints out the greatest, whatever the word is, on earth, and so on. And so this is one way of doing it. This is the preferred way of doing it. The output phrase, the greatest word on earth, with 10 different words. What is the minimum number of times the main program would need to call this in program B? So program B calls this twice, and it says if it's going to do it 10 different words, I guess it would have to do it 10 times, huh? It's the minimum 10. Just wrong. Oh, yes. To output in the galaxy instead of on Earth, how many statements need to be changed in program A and program B? To output in the galaxy in place of on Earth. Okay, so you have on Earth, and you're replacing it with in the galaxy. Okay, so in program A, that would have to be replaced twice. In program B, it would only have to be replaced once, because on Earth is only here once. Is that true? Program A is twice, and program B is once. Okay, here's an example of a menu system where all we have here is a program that first prints out a menu, and then asks you a choice, and then it displays the choice back out again. Is that what it does? Let's see. Prints the menu, and if the choice is 3, then it quits. Otherwise, it prints out the word order, and then it's going to print out gumbo or jambalaya. And so, see, this is how this executes. And this is the while loop, and it starts out by setting this equal to false. So while it's not false, or while it's true, while this is true, this thing executes. And it's when somebody enters in the value 3 for choice, does this execute, and the program quits, because this becomes true. And then when it's done, it skips out and comes back up here again. And now this is true, and not true is while this is. And so if this is true, then this is false. And so since this is false, then the body of the loop is not executed, and we skip out, and we're down here someplace quitting. All right, so that's how this works. Okay. Than, I see your, how do you pronounce your name? Is it Tan?
You can call me Tan or Lei.
Okay. You know, you introduced me to that Reddit or Replit program on Saturday, right? You and the others. And I learned how to do what I was trying to do on Replit, and I wanted to show that to you. Once there was a program that we could that it would be worthwhile showing it to you. So now would be a good time to demonstrate to the rest of the class this Replit program. Let me see, Art.
Thank you.
Yeah, Repl.it, is that what it is? And then I've got a login, and I haven't experimented around with different logins yet because I'd like to do it from scratch again so I can learn it. And then I want to use this in my other class too. But so I think my login was this, and I think my password was this. And I log in, and I guess I can save my password. Okay, so and so what you can do is you can go to my Repl. How do you pronounce this? Do you have a way of pronouncing?
I don't know. I heard they call it just reps.
Reps.
Like a replets. But they call it reps, yeah.
Okay. Well, your Repl. Okay, so and then what you can do is you can, you know, I'm got one here that I share with the group, but I'm just going to make a new folder just because I'm going to start over again, and I'm going to have some. So I'm going to call it test just for this class today, and then inside test I'm just going to have here I am, and I'm going to create a new program, new Repl, is that it?
Yes.
Okay, now we choose a language, and you know, this is, I've seen these before, and it's great because, you know, it's really a good way of learning all kinds of languages. And you know, I can see this course, we changed the name of this course to programming in the problem solving process or something like that. We took the name of the language out of the name of the course because for one thing, the language of the day changes every 5 or 10 years or so, but also it's not a bad idea for a course like this to teach more than one language, because now you have to know at least 2 languages to do anything. I mean, Python and JavaScript is 2 very popular languages that you probably should learn. But anyway, so you can pick which one you're going to work on, and there's Python, and there's also Python with turtle graphics. And you know, this class used to cover graphics at the very end, and we don't really anymore because the textbook doesn't have it. But this is a way that I could go back and just throw in a turtle graphics thing. So that might be kind of interesting later. But anyway, so this is just Python. So I'm just going to click Python, and I'm going to create one. Do I have to name it?
You can change the name right on the left. When you click, on top. When you click on it, yeah, you can put the name of the.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe you wanna start a new one, because I think that's the default. You cannot change it. I couldn't change when we start a new one.
Oh.
Like if you go out and you start a new one, you can name it. But once you pick a name from there, I don't know why, but I cannot change the name from there. Oh, you can. All right. Okay.
We learn something every. Okay. This is. I'm going to do example menu maybe. Section 6.2 example, and just to have a name for it. And I know I'm not gonna. Oh, do I got to upgrade the?
No, you don't have to. You can just click outside, and then it's yes.
Oh, and then it's just. Okay, so here we are. Here's the code, and so let's just copy this code. Copy, paste. Okay, I gotta do Control V. Okay, so here's my code. Okay, so you know, let's just run this first of all, just see what it's like. And you can click run up here. Click run, and now it's running. And I can say 1. Oh, that's nice. I can say 2. Oh, that's nice. And I can say 3. Oh, now we're done. Okay, now let's say that we want to trace through this program. This is a good program to trace through this. I figured out how to do the trace variables thing here. Okay, so this is really good because we do this thing like we input this and then we convert it to an integer. So I'm going to modify this just a little bit, and I'm going to say, you know, choice 1 equals the input, just the input. And inside here, I'm going to put choice 1. Okay, this is the only thing I'm going to do. And the reason I want to do this is because I actually want to separate out the character, the string version of what the guy typed in, and after it gets converted into an integer. Now, this is the cool part of this program, and this is what I'm going to encourage everybody to use from now on forever in all my classes. It's this debugger thing. So you click on the debugger. Okay, first thing you got to do is you got to set a breakpoint. Now, what's a breakpoint? Well, a breakpoint is a point in your program where as it's executing, when it gets to that point, it stops. Okay, and then you got to click on something to start it up again. And you can click on something to continue, and it just keeps on going again. You can set multiple breakpoints, or you can, from that point on, you can click one at a time. And doing one at a time is very good when you're really learning programming. So I'm going to click a breakpoint, and I'm going to make it be, I guess I'm going to make it be right here. Okay, I'm going to make it be right here. Now, when this program executes, first it's going to execute this whole thing together as defining a function. So it goes through some steps, you know, sticks it away, makes it accessible for the rest of the program, but it doesn't really do anything. It doesn't print anything out or anything, but it does execute that. Then it's going to execute this assignment statement, and so it's going to create a variable called quit program, and then it's going to assign the value false to that, and then it's going to stop. Okay, so now to execute it with the breakpoint, you click over here. So I'm going to click run, and okay, there we go. Now it's at the breakpoint at line 9. Line 9. It's sitting right here. Let's look at what the variables look like. Okay, these are some special variables in here, and I don't really know. It's just whatever. You need to look at those now. But in the function variables, and they would be these. If there were some variables inside here, I think they would probably be in here, but I don't think there really are any. But look, this is a variable. It's called quit program. It's this program right here. I mean, it's this variable right here, and the value is false. Okay, now, oops, I think we're right here. Okay, well, we're sitting at this breakpoint. Now I'm going to go one at a time. Here we go. I'm going to go next step. Okay, and so it, see more. Okay, so okay, so while loop, so it doesn't create any new variables or anything. If it were a for loop, you'd see the loop variable appear over here. But okay, so let's go one more. And okay, so now we're up here. And is there a stack or call stack? Okay, so now we're up here again, and we printed out today's menu. See, today's menu is printed out over here, and then we're going to print gumbo, and then we're going to print the jambalaya. You see, it's coming out over here, and then we're going to do the quit, print the quit out, and then we are back. I think we're back. Okay, let's see. Okay, so now we're back here. Now we returned out of this print menu, and we're here. So we're just about ready to execute statement number 11. Okay, statement number 10 was executed, and that printed out this. Now we're going to do statement number 11. We click this, This here printed out. The enter choice printed out over here, and then someone's got to type something. So I'm gonna type a 2. Oh, I gotta go over here. Okay, did I type? Okay, I typed a 2. Oh, there it is. And then I do this. Uh-oh.
I think you type in 2 and you have to enter, or no?
Oh, did I?
Like enter.
Oh, did I enter? Oh, you're right. Okay, there. Okay. All right. Oh, shoot, I went 2. Well, anyway, so I went to, okay, so now we see that this choice 1 variable was created, and you notice it's 2 because that's what the guy typed in, but notice it's got quotes around it. That means it's a string, it's a character string. It's
Yes.
not the value to it. Okay, and then this thing executes and it takes choice 1 and converts it into an integer. So choice is now equal to this. And so we see that here. And then we can continue on by going, it tested this value, choice is choice equal to 3? No, it's not. So that's why it's down here. It's in the else case. And then it prints out order. You saw that print out over here. And then it prints out, and then choice is equal to 2. So, it skipped over this one. And so that's why it's down here. And then choice is equal to 2. Does it say the line number? Is this the line number? Let's see. Yes. So it's nice that the line number is right here. You see the line number. So now we're going to see this thing print, and there it is. It printed, and so now it prints that, which is the return. It comes back up here, and this executes. So we can see that this can. And then
Is this like it's explaining each step, what it does? Is that what it is, like behind the scene?
Behind the scene, it's allowing you to step through the. See, now it's on line 4 right here. You see
Yeah,
that?
so it's sort of like it's
allowing you
explaining.
one statement at a time. And so
Okay.
you click the next, you execute the next statement, and then you look and see all the stuff that changed. And you execute.
Okay.
Now you can also set breakpoints. So let's say we're executing up here now. So that means we are in here somewhere. Let's say I really want to execute. I want to execute until I get to. I want to execute until I finally enter a choice of 3. Okay, so I'm going to put a breakpoint right here. Okay, and then I'm going to click this one, which executes to the next breakpoint, and it's going to execute, and it's going to ask me something, and I can enter in a 1. Enter in a 1, and it does it. And then, it's because there's this breakpoint back up here again. I'm gonna, so let me just, I'm gonna take out that breakpoint, and I'm gonna go like that. And now it's, what happens? Where am? Is it asking me for some?
For input, I think.
Why didn't it ask me to enter a choice? Okay, I'm just gonna do 1. I think we're. Well, it doesn't look like this thing is perfect. You see, it says beta up here. So I'm gonna stop it. And okay, is this breakpoint still here? I don't know if this breakpoint is still here. Okay, so let me just take out.
Yes, there's still a breakpoint on 14. Oh, you just took it out. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so this should just be. And so if let's just try setting a breakpoint here and here. No, here. But but is this one still here? No. Wonder why it's sort of a light blue there, even though we don't see here. Anyway, so okay, so let's run it, and it's gonna should run until it hits the quit program there. And so it hasn't asked me anything yet. So now I'm gonna just click next. Let's see if this works. I'm gonna click next breakpoint, and it should just run 2, yeah, 1, 2, and then when I hit 3, it's gonna get then this body is going to execute, and it should stop at just before it prints goodbye. So I'm going to do 3, and it stops right there just before it says goodbye. By the way, choice is equal to this 3. The choice 1 is equal to that. Quit program is still equal to false. So if I step next time, it print goodbye. And then it's going to set program is still equal to false. And then if I go one more time, quit program is equal to true. And then it goes back up here. And now this will be false. So it'll break out. And it's done.
So what is the breakpoints do? And why would you want to set the breakpoints? Is it you want to?
If you want to, let's say, okay, so setting the breakpoints is a way of stepping, but stepping more than one. You say where you want to stop next. So one thing is if let's say that the print menu program was a really long program. Let's say it did all kinds of stuff. So then maybe you'd want to set a breakpoint here, but then set the next breakpoint here, and that way, yeah, like that. So let's say you start to run it, and it's going to stop at this breakpoint.
Okay.
And then you're going to it's okay. So then you're gonna next breakpoint, you're gonna click this because so then it'll skip right. It'll execute the whole thing, and then it'll come back and stop at choice 1. So if I click next breakpoint, it displays out the menu and then stops at choice 1. See, so it's a way of because otherwise you'd have to click next step. See,
okay. Okay.
So
I see.
Yeah. And so you saw before I can say, okay, all of the choices work except for the last one, the choice 3. So I'm going to set a breakpoint right here, and then you execute it, and then as soon as it reaches that point, and then that way breakpoints are nice because if you're testing a program to see and you're saying you want to see if it actually gets to a particular point, so you hit you set a breakpoint there, and it never stops, and then it must never.
Okay, I see. Okay.
All right, so
Thank
I'm gonna
you.
so I'm gonna use this now when I'm showing you how to do programs.
Yes.
I'm going over one, but then also you'll notice there are these times in the textbook where it's at the end, and it gives you a great big huge program, and it's just a participation exercise. And the idea is you're supposed to be, motivated to go in and run the program and see how it works. Well, this is going to be a great tool for that, because we'll be able to execute through the program, and we'll be able to see the variables change, and it should be a lot easier. And this kind of takes the place of how I throw in print statements. You say, oh,
yes.
what's going on? Throw in a bunch of print statements, and this is the new way to do it.
Yes.
All right.
And I like this in a way that when I type it in, and if I miss a comma, or if I miss a closing statement or something, it just show a red there.
Yes.
So I know, I forgot that, But if I did it in the book, I just sit there and wonder why it's not moving,
Yeah.
And so this is I like it. It helps me a lot. So
Mhm, mhm. Yes, and you know, to be honest with you, um, you know, um, I bring up my text editor, and I show you, oh, that's, I say, well, I'll bring up my editor, and we'll run some programs, and we do it in the book, and we do the command prompt and everything. Really, when you get a job and you go out and write code, you're never going to do it that way. You're never going to just use a text editor. This is the most simplest thing that you'll ever use, but probably you'll use something like Visual Studio. And if I can just, let me just, it, I ITS128 here. So let's go into here. I'm going to go into my CMD here. And let me do CD, OneDrive, desktop, ITS128. And when you read the Repl.it documentation, it says if you're familiar with Visual Studio Code, then you are then this will be very familiar with you. So you can start off once you have Visual Studio Code installed, you can just go, code dot period, and Visual Studio Code pops up, and see, this is all Microsoft, big honking heavy thing, and here your programs over here, but you have the same kind of thing. You'll notice these are the same icons, and you click this and you run this, and you see the variables popping up on the left side, and oh, it's just great, and you actually have on this, the shell, the command shell is over here on this side, and in Visual Studio Code it's like down here. It's like,
yes.
yeah. So you've seen this before, but I mean, what's so great about, what's so bad about Visual Studio Code is that it takes you, there's so much there, and before you can do anything, and there's all these defaults, and stuff happens, and you don't know what's going on, and you try to run Python and it's not working, and oh, go ahead and put the path in this or that, go into Windows, and you're going, what are they even talking about? But these kinds of things are so nice because they're just designed to be simple and real quick, and you want to, you don't want to learn a development environment. You want to learn how to code. You want to get to coding as quickly as you can. And so I think these are great. And that Zybooks is trying to get to this point. And I hope they do. But in the meantime, and apparently in this I can create assignments and have them be auto graded. So I could do that, or I think what I'll just do is keep on using Zybooks for the auto graded stuff, and when you're writing your lab assignments, just come over here and get them all working, and then just copy paste them back into the Zybooks. Here.
Yes, that's what I've been doing too, because when I use in the book, I got stuck and I don't know where it's stuck.
Yep.
So when I go to Repl.it, I just keep running it, and then it's, okay, then I found out I'm missing something, or why it's not printed, something like that. Then after it's done, I copy it back into the book.
Yep. That's the only way to do it. I mean, if that's the only. There's no sense my forcing you to do it in the book, just so I can, see how you do. Down here where you have your history of your work. I look in there and I go, wait a minute, you only ran this program once and then it was working perfectly? No way, you must have copied somebody.
I see.
Yeah, that's just crazy. Anyway, hey, while we're here, let's do a lab, okay? What time is it? It's 4:06. Okay, let's do a lab. All right, one lap around a standard high school running track is exactly that many miles. Write a function that takes the number of miles as the argument and returns the number of laps. Complete the program to output the number of laps. And we want to use this function here to print. So if the input's that, it outputs that. If the input's that, it outputs that. Your program must define and call the following function. Okay, so we need to define this. So I'm going to start it in here just because I've got all of the details here, and this here is where it calls it. So miles to laps. So 4 miles, no, 1 mile equals 4 laps. So I get okay, so I'm going to return miles to laps. So I'm going to return laps. Okay, so return. Okay, so I'm going to use variables just so we can use that Replit and see the different variables as they appear. I'm going to say I'm going to return laps. Okay, so laps equals user miles times 4. Return laps. And then here I'm going to say input I'm going to say, am I reading the laps? Is that what I'm reading? Oh, I'm reading the miles. I'm reading miles. So I say miles equals input. I'm going to say miles string equals input. Miles value, no, just miles equals int of, no, not int, float of miles string. Something like that. And then I'm gonna laps returned. I'm just being stupid here by putting lots and lots of variables just so we can see what they look like when I run it in that other program. Equals miles equals miles to laps miles. Print this up here. And I want to print this. Okay, so let's see what this looks like. Copy over here. And do I gotta make a new? Let me see. How would I make a new one? No, I didn't want to do that. Okay, I'll go here and go my Repls, Replit test. That's where I was doing stuff in. And I'm gonna,
you see where it say create and the plus on top?
here, this one?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
click
you can create a new one if you want to, yeah.
Yes, okay.
And
then I go Python and I go, oh, title. Here I can put a title.
yeah, but you click on Python first.
Okay, click this first. Okay.
Yes.
Oh yeah, it's Sandy Brown whatevers. And this is called 618
yes.
miles. This one. Okay, I'm gonna copy this over here and create.
I've been doing that and it's very helpful.
Yes.
Because I can locate the chapter.
Oh yes, okay.
Yes.
So go back here again. I'm gonna copy this. Copy this. All right. Okay, now one thing I noticed on Saturday also is that for some reason this puts in double indents. You don't really need the double indents.
I think it's double because from the book is
Is that what
being
it is?
double. Yes. So I just move it back.
Yeah. Dump book. Yeah, do I need
Do
to?
we put the print, the final print at the very end? Not under if. Do we, is that print is by itself, the print statement?
It should be under the if, okay? It should be.
Oh,
Is that
okay.
what- Okay, now the reason is because what we're doing here is, okay, well, first let's run, see, first, we actually don't even need this part, we don't actually don't need that, but what this part does is it makes it so this module here can be used by other programs, and so you can include, or you can is that the term at the top of the a Python program when you want to include another module? Is that the term, include? it's late in the day and I get these languages mixed up, but anyway, so let's say you wanted to use this let's say you wrote this program, and you have this program here, and you want to use this function in some other program. You don't care about this here. You don't care at all about this. All you care about is this function, and there could be a bunch of other functions in this program. Well, then you can just include this. You can just identify this program at the top of your other Python program that wants to use this, and then when it's brought in, this will be ignored. The reason this will be ignored is because the name of the other program that's including this in is not going to be the main program.
Oh, okay. I see.
So if this module is run as the main program, then this is executed. But if this module is not, excuse me, and so that way, now if we were to put this out here, it would still work. No, it wouldn't work, because what would happen is this would execute always, and so if you're bringing it in, this wouldn't, and then this would be not defined. This would be undefined. So anyway, great. Okay, so yeah, you understand that, but the folks at home might not understand. So okay, so let's just execute this. I'm going to execute it. It's interesting that this is italicized. All right, so I'm going to set a breakpoint of right here, and I'm going to click on debugger, and I'm going to click on this big thing there, and syntax error. I forgot the colon. So
I'm surprised that it didn't turn red.
Right.
That part.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's not perfect. Okay, so here we go. We are stopped at the breakpoint because right here it says 6 right there. So now I know that it's around line 6. And there's no variables yet, I don't think. No, there's not. So I'm going to click next step, and now there is a miles string variable. What happened? No.
It says something about the returns lapsed. Is not.
Where is it?
Miles.
No, that was before, wasn't it? Or oh, is this the same error that we just?
Yeah. Yes, if you can you click start stop the play again, the button.
That's probably what it was. Yeah, okay, so I have to start over.
If you click run one more time.
Okay, well anyway, here, so it's actually executing now because I clicked run up here.
Okay.
And I don't want to okay. 6 miles.
Return laps.
24 laps. Yeah, okay, it's right.
Name equal the input miles float.
Yeah, so
I-
let me just keep on. Why is it still okay? Okay, run. Okay, so we've stopped. Okay, so now let's try out using the debugger. So I'm going to click that one, and it stopped at line 6, and then I'm going to click next. Oh, I got to enter something. Oh, okay, that's the problem. I got to click next step, and now it's probably waiting for me to enter something, and I'm going to click for enter, and then I'm going to click next step. Did it? Oh, wait, no. Oh, did it? Oh, do I do for enter now? Okay, so it doesn't look like it's working, does it?
It works in the book. So
Yeah, it works in the book right now.
yes.
I'm sure I know, but I want this to work.
I know, and I see it in when I'm in the book, it's harder to see because you look at the book. Once you submit for grading, the answer is on the bottom, and then it's too many writing in there. You know, it's like input, output, and then it's comparing. So you're sitting there and thinking, which is the correct answers, you know? But when you use this, it makes sense to me because I can see it right on the right side of the board.
Yes. Yes.
Once you click run, it's just right there, so you know what you're doing and you know where the numbers comes from. But in the book, somehow is very confusing, especially the explanation is on the bottom and is like breaking out in different sections. So I guess it's for me when I just started out the first few weeks, I'm totally literally like, oh my gosh, I got so panicked because I didn't know. I know I follow you, but I don't know how did that numbers arrive. You know, but with this is very good. Is a lot more clear because right on the right side we see number 6 and we see number 24, and then you know where's that come from. You know, and if you want a little more explanation, you can just write it onto it just like how you just did. And then, you know, or you can just print another statement above it or something, but not so I hope you know other students finds this helpful just like me.
Yeah, well, I can make an assignment. So I was going to make an assignment where they have to do something and they send me a screenshot just so I can see that they've done this. So I'm going to enter in, let's say I want to
I think if you do that, you know, this is how I think. The books, the way we work on a book is, I guess that's how you grade it. But I guess if anyone want to use this and want to make it become something, because when I learned, if I want just to pass the grade, I can just watch your videos and start, you know, copy what you're doing and then get by with it. But if I want to do this for my own, then I really have to get my hand into it. It's almost like if I'm learning a recipe and if I don't cook, I don't have the result.
No, you're right. You're right. You're absolutely right. Yeah.
Yes. And so I don't think if you ask us to send you a snapshot, it's just one more work for you. And it doesn't get really to where it is. But I think if you let people see this and say, hey, if you really want a tool to practice on your own, this is the best way with no cost, maybe just some time, you know. But this is pretty much like I learned how to cook without have to actually cooking.
Yes. Yeah. Although this actually is like, you actually are programming. You actually are writing the program. So it is like you're cooking, actually. So
Yes, and then I don't have to worry about messing it up, because it's okay if I mess it up, and then I can just rerun it and redo it, and or I can put in, if you don't mind, you put in a hashtag, and show everybody that's how I did. I did that, and then I put a question up in front of it, and then I ask you, and then when I ask you, I can just send you the link and you look at it. And it's make an interaction a lot faster, and get to the point if I have a question for you, and if any other people want to see it or something, I think it's a very good way to give us a tool to work on.
Yes, and so I want to get us there, and I want to come up with some way. You bring up another good idea, where when somebody has someone has a problem with one of the problems they're working on, they can just have me go in there and look
Yes.
and it's better. It's better than the book, because I mean, I can go in and look at your program in the book. I think I've tried to do that before. I haven't quite figured that out yet, but yeah, no, this is much better, because yeah, as you say, you can put in hashtag and a comment and a question, and I can go in and just sort of get you over the hump. Oh, you made this mistake, and I fix it, and then contact you and say, yeah, it's
yes, because I think what happened is that when I did a few things before this on my own, it's just because every time I see you do something, I learn it and I try to copy what you do, and then pretend like I'm making a different project in my own way. And then it doesn't print, or it keep having the error or showing a red thing on it. So I quickly hashtag it and then have a question mark on it. It's to me, and then I can just have you look at it, and maybe when you look at it, you can see right away. You say, oh, you missed a colon, or you missed something, or you didn't link the float onto it, or you didn't put the into it. Just something. For you, you look at it and you can see right away. But for us, I sit there for 2 hours and try to figure out what's going on, And so I really enjoy this very much. Ever since I use it, I felt like I'm in a different level.
Different level, yeah. Okay, so good. So let's so here we've got the miles string, got the character 2, because I typed in a character 2. Okay, so I got the breakpoint at the right place this time, I think. So now I click next step, goes down here. Now we have this miles variable that and the float is operated on the string, and so now we see the float is 2.0. We're at step 8 now, and then we execute the next step, and now we have this we are executing. We're into miles to laps, and we are up here executing this function. Now we've got user miles here. That's here. That comes in as 2 because it was called as 2. And let's go to the next step. And now we have this laps variable, which is right here. And we see now that's equal to 8. And that's going to be returned right here. And so this now equals the value that was returned. And now when we go one more, we should see a new variable called laps returned, which equals that value. And there it is, 8.0. And then this is printed out here. All right, so very good. So we went through that. What time is it? Oh, it's almost towards the end. See what?
Yes. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, so that'll go in there. And so I guess we've gone long enough. I'm glad I was able to show this to you. I'm speaking to the rest of the class now as you're watching this, and we'll do more of this. I scheduled 3 classes this week.
Yes, I saw that. Thank you so much.
Okay, so all right, so I will see you. When is the next class?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow, okay. It would be announcements. And yes, tomorrow at 12:30. Okay.
Yes.
So see
I'll
you.
see you. Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, you're
Thank
welcome.
you.
Take care. Bye.
Bye-bye.